The universe held its breath. What happens when all hope is lost? In a moment that felt like the end of everything, a brutal species from the depths of space unleashed terror, threatening to consume an entire civilization. But in that darkest hour, when galaxies turned away, an unexpected spark ignited humanity. This isn't just a story about war. This is a journey of an iron will, pushing past every limit to achieve the impossible. Can they truly save a galaxy? Or will the fate of all species lie in the hands of savage predators? Don't miss a single second. Stay right here, because what you're about to witness will change how you see humanity's true power. And before we dive into this galactic war, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future epic stories. The obsidian sky fractured, not by meteor showers, but by the relentless descent of the Vorgon invasion fleet. Their colossal, skeletal ships cast predatory shadows across Xylos Prime's once vibrant amethyst landscape. Deep within Ethereum Nexus, a sprawling subterranean city, High Regent Terran felt the tremor. His serene blue luminescence pulsed with frantic, warning red, a sign of terror among his people, the Crystalians. Grav shields are failing. Lyra, a Veskian tactical coordinator, sliced through the silence, her emerald scales dulled. Outer ring defense is gone. Last barrier, a heavy quiet settled. Faces shimmering, intricate, bioluminescent, turned to the holographic display. A crimson tide of Vorgon symbols swallowed their tranquil mining colony. The Vorgon, a ravenous insectoid empire, had devoured 3-star systems from the Stellarian Compact. Now, their chitinous maw yawned open for Xylos Prime. Civilian count in lower sectors? Terran asked. Approximately 500, Lyra replied. Mostly Crystalian miners and Veskian architects. Evacuation tunnels sealed. Terran closed his optical sensors. The Stellarian Compact prided itself on peace. Crystalians, empathists, Veskians, historians, Zylos, masters of data. None were warriors. This dedication was precisely why the Vorgon, bred for expansion, carved through their territory with horrifying brutality. Vorgon drop pods detaching, reported Kael, a young Zylos officer. On the ground within minutes. Every being knew the Vorgon method. Consumption. A fate abhorrent. Activate final sanctuary protocols. Terran commanded. Protect remaining populace. Their security, augmented miners with rudimentary tools, would be overwhelmed. High Regent, a young Crystallian communications officer exclaimed. Deep space frequency, breaking through Vorgon jamming. Unknown signature. Patch it through. Terran ordered, a sliver of desperate hope. The nearest compact fleet was 3 solar cycles away. The comm sputtered. Then a resonant, utterly confident voice filled the chamber. Xylos Prime Command. This is Colonel Kaelen Thorne of the Terran fleet. Hold your ground. We are inbound. Estimated arrival, 16 hours. Repeat, hold your ground. Murmurs rippled. Terrans? No comprehensive records, a Veskian historian noted. Terran searched his databanks. A new species from a turbulent system at the compact's edge. Are they fighters? Lyra asked, fragile hope. Undeveloped, Terran admitted, luminescence dimming. Crude technology. No significant fleet. Hope extinguished. We must respond, his second-in-command urged. Terran nodded, pressing transmit. Terran vessel. This is High Regent Terran. Under catastrophic assault. Vorgon forces outnumber us beyond measure. Our final defenses will fall before you arrive. The reply came instantly, calm, unwavering. Understood, High Regent. We've studied the Vorgon. We know their weaknesses. Just survive until we get there. That's an order. Transmission cut. Compact leaders exchanged bewildered glances. What difference can these primitives make? A Zylos whispered. Terran had no answer. As another explosion rocked the Nexus, he fixed his 6 eyes on the timer. 16 hours. Could they possibly last? Galactic warfare was about to be rewritten. Past the 16-hour mark, alarm screamed across the Vorgon fleet. 27 new vessels materialized, dark and angular. The Vorgon Supreme Overlord, a monstrous, chitin-armored creature, slammed a forelimb onto its console. Identify those ships. Immediately, its sharp clicks vibrated with fury. Unknown design. Supreme Overlord, a drone shrieked. Primitive energy signatures. Not Stellarian Compact. On the holographic display, the ships approached. Most were crudely modified transports with weapons bolted on. Only 4 looked like warships. Terrans, the Supreme Overlord rasped. The surface crawlers. An inconvenience. It chittered. Continue planetary pacification. 2 siege carriers to eradicate this annoyance. Aboard the Terran flagship, the ironclad, Colonel Kaelen Thorne gathered his officers. A swirling hologram of Xylos Prime showed a crimson web of Vorgon strongholds. "All right, people," Thorne began. 8 minutes before the Vorgon realize we aren't here for pleasantries. Thorne was formidable, face etched with conflict, gaze unwavering. Lieutenant Anya Sharma, data specialist, raised a hand. "Colonel, intel indicates 14,000 Vorgon ground forces. We have 400 combat personnel. Exactly why we're not fighting fair," Thorne replied, a grim smile. He tapped the hologram, zooming to the colony's power conduits and geothermal vents. Crystallian leadership is deep in Ethereum Nexus. The Vorgon are systematically drilling down, harvesting standard procedure. They want them alive, initially, observed Captain Valerius Val Stone, heavily muscled, for biomass and genetic assimilation. Thorne nodded. "Precisely. That's our window." He tapped the console, illuminating key structural weak points. A younger officer frowned. "Landing zones are heavily fortified, Colonel. We'll be slaughtered. That's why we're not using them." Thorne's smile widened. "Orbital drop pods. Going hot. Straight through the core vents." Terran officers exchanged resolute nods. No one questioned the audacious plan. This was the Terran way of war. Miles below, in Ethereum Nexus, High Regent Theron and advisors huddled. The Vorgon had breached upper levels hours ago. Fragmented screams echoed faintly. "We cannot hold," Lyra whispered. "The Terrans, they didn't arrive. They promised," Theron repeated, defiance lingering. Suddenly, a monitor flickered, showing new atmospheric contacts, small, fast, intensely focused. "What are those?" a Zylos officer clicked. The bunker shook with sharp, precise impacts. The comms crackled. "Xylos Prime Command. This is Lieutenant Anya Sharma of the Terran Fleet. We have established internal insertion points within the colony. We are inside the colony." Crystalians and Veskians stared. "Inside," Theron clicked. "How?" "All entryways are under Vorgon control." "We didn't use the entryways," High Regent, Sharma's calm voice replied. "We burrowed in. Literally. My team is in a bionutrient processing facility. 30 Vorgon drone units, unaware. That's about to change. Stand by." In the background, sharp kinetic weapon reports erupted, followed by guttural, primal Terran roars. Lyra turned to Theron. "They drove through the planet's surface? That's insane." Theron said nothing, crystalline form vibrating. Terrans, he realized, had a very different understanding of warfare. The Vorgon Central Command hummed with frantic energy. Terrans appeared unexpectedly, launching brutal assaults, vanishing into labyrinthine tunnels. "How are they moving so rapidly?" demanded the Vorgon field commander. "Where do these anomalies originate?" "Waste conduits, Supreme Overlord," a drone shrieked. "And geothermic vents. Passages too narrow for our warrior forms. Collapse the conduits. Flood the vents with caustic gas." "Attempting, Commander, but they anticipate our measures." Deep within Xylos Prime's maintenance tunnels, Lieutenant Anya Sharma led her infiltration squad. Unlike the bulky Vorgon, Terrans moved with fluid grace, armed with silenced plasma rifles and stealth armor. Team 3 reports Vorgon patrols converging on Sector Gamma, her comms officer whispered. "Trying to encircle us." Sharma's lips curved. "Too slow." She tapped her wrist comm, triggering shaped charges. A distant rumble vibrated. That should keep them busy. They emerged into a vast storage facility where Veskians huddled. The avian aliens flinched at the armed Terrans. "We're not here to harm you," Sharma said, raising her hands. Terran fleet, here to assist. An ancient Veskian, Trill, lore master, stepped forward. "You are the Terrans?" Sharma nodded. "Lieutenant Anya Sharma. We need to move you." The Vorgon sealed all paths to the bunkers. Trill chirped. "They hunt us relentlessly. Then we hunt them first," Sharma stated. She turned. "Stone, Valerius, perimeter. Doc, check civilians." As the Terran medic approached, Trill's feathers flared. "Your mind's perplexing. You possess profound compassion, yet a terrible, cold readiness to unleash violence." "That's how we survive," Sharma replied, gaze steady. A younger Veskian added, "You compartmentalize aggression. Terrifying and fascinating." Trill stepped closer. "If you permit, I can forge a stronger empathic link. We could perceive through the Vorgon's hive mind. Know their movements." Sharma hesitated briefly. "Do it." Trill placed a feathered hand on Sharma's temple. A cool sensation washed through her mind. She felt her squad, their thoughts a faint hum. Beyond them, the alien minds of the Vorgon. "Now," Trill whispered, "reach further." Sharma gasped as impressions flooded her senses. "Cold, hungry, calculating. I can sense them," she breathed. 3 attack groups. Converging. Trill nodded. "The hive mind, which grants strength, also renders them vulnerable." Sharma quickly relayed. "Sanchez, Kowalski, North Tunnel. Stone, Valerius, with me east. Rest secure civilians." As Terrans moved with newfound purpose, Trill watched with hope and apprehension. Terrans decimated Vorgon units. Trill sensed something deeper. Terrans fought with primal precision, efficiency forged from millennia of brutal warfare against their own kind. As Xylos Prime's twin sons began their descent, the Vorgon would learn what it meant to face predators more cunning, adaptable, and ruthless than themselves. High Regent Theron stood, trembling, as Colonel Kaelen Thorne entered the subterranean command nexus. The Terran leader seemed almost vulnerable, yet Thorne's gaze made Theron's 3 hearts resonate with awe and trepidation. "High Regent Theron," Thorne said, extending a hand. "Thank you for allowing us to assist." Theron briefly touched Thorne's hand. "Colonel Thorne, your forces have achieved truly astonishing results." Around the holographic table, Stellarian Compact leaders watched with relief and uneasy fascination. Terrans secured 5 sectors. The Vorgon advance had been violently repelled. "Your methods appear intensely aggressive," observed Krell, a senior Crystalian military advisor. "Aggressive?" Thorne's eyebrow arched. "We're fighting for survival." "You utilized captured Vorgon drones as decoys," noted a Veskian advisor. "Lured Vorgon strike teams using simulated cries of distress from your own injured." "And it worked," Thorne replied calmly. "We've extracted hundreds of your people with negligible casualties." Theron, sensing tension, raised a crystalline hand. "We are grateful, Colonel, but struggle to comprehend. Your species is new to interstellar travel, no history of galactic warfare, yet you fight with uncommon ferocity." Thorne's face softened. "You evolved differently, High Regent. Compact species prioritize cooperation. Terrans evolved as both predator and prey, forging aggression alongside empathy." The alien leaders exchanged troubled glances. "Your soldiers undertake risks no rational being would consider," Krell observed. Thorne offered a slight, chilling smile. "Terrans have a saying, fortune favors the bold. Sometimes the most unexpected action is the most effective." Their discussion was abruptly cut short. A junior Zylos officer burst in. The Vorgon initiated a massive counteroffensive, breached the western perimeter. "Heavy losses." Thorne's face hardened instantly. He tapped his comm unit. "All units fall back to Phase 2 defensive positions." "Sharma, status report." "Static." Then, a guttural, triumphant Vorgon voice. "Your efforts are admirable, Terran, but your people are now ours." A chilling silence. On the tactical display, a massive Vorgon force shattered the western line. "They've captured some of your personnel," Krell observed quietly. Thorne's expression remained impassive, yet cold fury in his eyes made the Crystalian advisor recoil. "Then the Vorgon just made their second mistake," he said. "Their first was attacking this colony. Their second." He turned to his officers, voice rising. "Prepare Operation Chimera. The Vorgon are about to learn something about Terrans no biological database, no hive memory could ever contain." In a dark, reeking holding cell deep within the Vorgon orbital command ship, a captured Terran combat engineer hung from biorestraints. Sergeant Jax Anvil Miller, face defiance masked, looked up. Weakness bug? Biologically incapable of giving up. The Vorgon field overlord, grotesque and terrifying, chittered dismissively. It failed to comprehend the human's threat. The Vorgon Supreme Overlord's colossal command vessel, the Hive Heart, descended slowly through Xylos Prime's atmosphere, casting an ever-widening shadow. Inside, the Supreme Overlord received alarming reports. "Terrans resisting psychic probes, Supreme Overlord," reported the lead Vorgon seer. "Mental resilience exceeds parameters." "Primitive beasts," the Supreme Overlord clicked. "Deploy neurodisruptor gas. It paralyzes compact species. Their minds will then be open." Amber gas billowed. Vorgon ground forces advanced, expecting helpless victims. Instead, Terrans fought, slower, coughing blood but lethally active. "Gas only partially effective," a Vorgon squad leader chittered. "Their biology is anomalous." In the Terran medical section, soldiers received emergency injections and oxygen, yet continued battling. "It's working," Colonel Thorne rasped to High Regent Theron. "Vorgon committing everything. Working." Theron stared in disbelief. "Your people are falling. Dying." "Some are," Thorne admitted. "But while the Supreme Overlord focuses here, Captain Valerius Stone's team is aboard their flagship." Captain Valerius Val Stone led his elite Spectre team through the Hive Heart's dim corridors. 6 Phantoms, using cloaking and silent takedowns. "Bridge ahead," whispered Lieutenant Eva Rostova. 3 guards. Heavy armor. Stone nodded. "Not to destroy. Navigation and comms intact." They neutralized guards, slipped into the control room. Rostova interfaced the device. "Virus uploading. 3 minutes to saturation." "Make it 2, Stone ordered, hearing heavy footsteps. On the surface, Colonel Thorne initiated Operation Chimera. All Terran ground forces began a strategic retreat towards the industrial sector. "Withdrawing, Supreme Overlord," a Vorgon commander reported. "Pursue and eliminate." "They're breaking." Vorgon forces surged, hive mind on the kill. They missed invisible devices, weakened walls. Last Terran squad cleared the zone. Thorne gave the signal. "Execute." Structures shattered under precise blasts. Tunnels collapsed. Buildings toppled. Hidden kinetic projectors activated, catching swarming aliens in crossfire. In the command nexus, Stellarian Compact leaders watched in amazement. Vorgon forces decimated by their own environment. They are trapping themselves. Trill observed. Terrans knew exactly how Vorgon would react. High Regent Theron realized. Studied their enemy. Learned the hive mind's patterns. Veskian telepaths, working with Terran tactical officers, coordinated with precision. Every Vorgon movement anticipated. Every Terran action perfectly timed. By dawn, Xylos Prime's twin suns rose over a ravaged landscape. Situation altered. Vorgon numerical advantage plummeted. In orbit, Captain Stone's team completed their mission. The virus spread through the Vorgon fleet's communications, scrambling signals, disabling targeting. "It's done, Colonel," Stone reported. "Their ships are blind, deaf, and fragmenting. Don't even realize it yet." Colonel Thorne allowed a rare, faint smile. "Phase 1 complete. Now, Phase 2, heavy utility transports." The Vorgon communications overlord thrashed. Nothing functioned. "Supreme Overlord. Cannot contact fleet. Channels compromised." The Supreme Overlord's mandibles clicked with rage. Terrans deployed parasitic software. Too late. Above Xylos Prime, 32 new ships shimmered from hyperspace. Vorgon defense system scanned. Heavy utility transports. The tactical overlord clicked. Cargo haulers against our warships. Annihilate them, the supreme overlord roared. Vorgon weapons locked, but virus-corrupted arrays failed. Transports moved unhindered, broadcasting stolen Vorgon IDs. In the command nexus, High Regent Theron watched. Not warships. He clicked to Colonel Kaelen Thorne. What can mining vessels do? Thorne's face broke into a wide, triumphant smile. High Regent, those ships carry industrial boring equipment, geostabilization explosives, plasma torches. Surprised what they achieve creatively. First transport landed near the energy conduit system, a contested sector. Cargo bay opened. Civilian miners in makeshift armor emerged, offloading enormous drills and laser cutters. Listen up, you space rats, roared a burly Terran miner. These beasts weren't made for fighting, but they'll chew through Vorgon armor like butter. Just point him and let her rip. Similar scenes unfolded. Civilian mining crews, now combat engineers, joined the fray. Vorgon had no counter. Drilling lasers carved through barricades. Geocharges created sinkholes. Lieutenant Anya Sharma led Terrans and Veskians to retake the central habitat dome. Veskians, pacifists, now emulated Terran fighting with empathic twists. Concealed behind that beam, a young Veskian named Sirai warned Sharma, sensing ambush. 27 units. Sharma nodded. Sirai, Project False Impression. Make them believe we're coming from Eastern Access Shaft. Sirai's feathers rippled. Yes, projecting deceptive thought patterns. Terran soldiers watched as Vorgon troops, with chilling synchronicity, abruptly turned, firing into an empty corridor where their hive mind sensed Terrans. Now, Sharma ordered. Her team burst through western entrance, catching the Vorgon unprepared. High Regent Theron observed battle reports. Terran soldiers fought continuously for nearly 35 hours, many injured beyond compact endurance. How do they persist? He clicked a Trill. Bodies produce performance-enhancing chemicals under duress, Trill explained. More profoundly, a genetic imprint of continuous conflict, a primal, innate drive forged over thousands of generations. Aboard its ravaged command ship, the Vorgon Supreme Overlord received devastating news. Terrans retook 70% of colony. Victory slipping. Initiate final protocol, it ordered voice cold. If we cannot claim this world, no one shall. Vorgon forces began a rapid, strategic withdrawal to dropships. No panic, but regrouping for one last, cataclysmic strike against fusion reactors. The Supreme Overlord shrieked, a sound of pure terror, echoing through the Hive Heart's bridge. The Terran-led fleet had bypassed perimeter defenses, materializing directly above the Vorgon homeworld's primary orbital defenses. Impossible! The Overlord clicked, critical platforms sparking and going dark. Our networks are impenetrable. On the Vorgon homeworld surface, a chilling new reality unfolded. High Regent Theron, on the Ironclad's bridge, witnessed the dawn of a new kind of war. His crystalline core pulsed with cold, righteous fury. The Stellarian Compact was liberating. Orbital defenses falling like dominoes, Colonel. Lieutenant Anya Sharma reported, voice calm amid strategic chaos. Microjammers overloading their core processors. Hive mind fragmenting. Colonel Kaelen Thorne nodded, grim satisfaction on his face. Good. Keep them disoriented. Vorgon thrive on order. We'll give them chaos. The Stellarian Compact forces, once hesitant, now moved with terrifying precision, fueled by Terran doctrine and their own simmering rage. Crystallian engineers directed concentrated plasma that pierced Vorgon shields. Veskian lore masters, their empathic links pushed to limits, broadcast dissonant mental frequencies into the Vorgon hive mind, sowing panic. The Zylos, neural networks blazing, coordinated this complex symphony of destruction, predicting Vorgon maneuvers, allowing brutal efficiency. Below, On the desolate surface, Sergeant Jack Sanville Miller led his assault team. "Keep pushing," Miller roared, pulse rifle spitting plasma. "Show these bugs what a real fight looks like." Beside him, a Crystalian heavy weapons specialist unleashed concentrated energy, disintegrating a Vorgon barricade. "Your real fight is exhilarating, Sergeant," it clicked. "Damn right it is," Miller yelled back. "This is how you introduce yourself properly." On the Ironclad's bridge, High Regent Terran turned to Colonel Thorne. "The Galactic Council sent another plea, Colonel. They warn of universal condemnation. Call this barbaric aggression." "Let them," Thorne said, gaze fixed on the homeworld, now a swirling vortex of energy impacts. "They worried about peace while the Vorgon consumed. Now, we're bringing them a different kind of peace. The kind where their predators cease to exist." His voice was cold, hard. "The Vorgon started this war. We're ending it. On our terms." Captain Valerius Stone approached. "Orbital defenses completely neutralized, Colonel. Ground forces deploying. Heavy, but disorganized resistance." Thorne's eyes narrowed. "Good. Disorganized means desperate. Orders remain. Surgical strike teams target command nodes. Main assault forces target every bioconversion facility. Everyone, leave nothing." "Understood, Colonel," Sharma confirmed. Thorne turned to the holographic display. The Vorgon believed their numbers were their strength, their hive mind, their ultimate weapon. "We taught them otherwise on Xylos Prime. Now, on their own homeworld, we teach them the final lesson." His voice was a low, chilling promise. "We don't just liberate. We don't just punish. We eradicate. For every life they took, for every world they devoured, we will ensure that nothing remains. This is not just retribution. This is annihilation." The Terran-led fleet plunged into the Vorgon homeworld's atmosphere. This was the culmination. Not merely a war, but a final, decisive judgment. The Vorgon Imperium, once the undisputed terror, was about to face the true, unyielding fury of a species that refused to be consumed. A species that had learned the Vorgon's methods, refined them, and was now turning them back with cold precision that would echo through the cosmos for eons. The silence of extinction was descending. The Supreme Overlord shrieked no more. Its last, desperate clicks echoed in the void, swallowed by plasma fire. The Hive Heart, once the heart of the Vorgon Imperium, buckled under concentrated barrage. Its chitin and armor cracked, revealing pulsating biomass. "The Hive fragments," was the Overlord's final thought as a Terran torpedo ripped through its bridge. The Vorgon Imperium died with a whimper. On the Vorgon homeworld, the inferno subsided, replaced by an acrid haze. The purple landscape, scarred and broken, bore witness to an absolute victory. High Regent Terran, his crystalline form radiating a steady, powerful blue, stood on the Ironclad's bridge, observing the final, devastating strikes. The Crystalians had faced their fears, and through the Terrans, had found their strength. "All primary targets confirmed neutralized, Colonel," Lieutenant Anya Sharma reported, voice hoarse but triumphant. "No Vorgon hive structures functional. Planetary cleansing operations ongoing." Colonel Kaelen Thorne simply nodded, face etched with weary finality. The war was over. He looked out at the Vorgon homeworld, a desolate monument to their demise. The cost had been immeasurable, but galactic peace forged in this crucible would endure. The combined forces of the Stellarian Compact and the Terran fleet began withdrawal. Crystalian engineers surveyed damage. Veskian lore masters recorded grim history, ensuring the Vorgon's terror and Terran's brutal solution would never be forgotten. Zylos neural networks monitored for remnants, vigilance unyielding. In the Ironclad's medical bay, Sergeant Jack Sanville Miller, nursing a bandaged head, watched Alara, the Veskian healer. "No more bugs to stomp, Doc," Miller grumbled. Alara smiled. "Threat neutralized, Sergeant. But the galaxy is vast, and life always finds a way." "Yeah," Miller muttered, "and so does trouble." On the Ironclad's bridge, High Regent Terran approached Colonel Thorne, watching the Vorgon homeworld recede. "The Galactic Council retracted threats, Colonel. offered unprecedented aid for rebuilding and full admission for your species into the Stellarian Compact. Thorne finally turned, a faint smile touching his lips. It's a start, High Regent. Galaxy needs to learn true peace sometimes requires a hard hand. He looked at the receding world. We did what was necessary. Captain Valeria Stone and Lieutenant Anya Sharma joined them, faces showing exhaustion but triumph. What now, Colonel? Stone asked. Rebuilding? Training compact fleets? Thorne's gaze swept over his officers, then out into the stars. Rebuilding, yes, and training. Compact needs to be ready, but we also send a message. His voice hardened. A message to any other ultimate predator out there. He paused, voice dropping to a chilling whisper. We taught the Vorgon what it means to face a cornered beast. Now, the galaxy will learn what it means to face a species that decided to fight back. Not just for survival, but for every single one of its own. We will ensure the silence we left behind on that world resonates throughout the cosmos. A warning, a promise, and a testament to the unforgiving resolve of humanity. The ironclad turned, leaving the dead world behind, setting course for the nearest jump gate. The war was over, but the message had just begun. The universe had been changed irrevocably. Humanity, once primitive and unknown, had announced its presence with the loudest, most absolute silence the cosmos had ever heard. The silence that followed the Vorgon Imperium's fall was profound, stretching across light years. It spoke volumes, a chilling testament to the Terrans' uncompromising resolve. For the first time, the Stellarian Compact breathed a collective sigh of relief, tinged with an unsettling understanding of their new allies. On Xylos Prime, healing and rebuilding began. Amethyst landscapes, though scarred, showed new life. The Ethereum Nexus was now a monument to survival, infused with Crystallian wisdom and Terran pragmatism. High Regent Theron often observed Terran training exercises. Colonel Kaelen Thorne pushed his troops and growing compact volunteers through brutal simulations. They adapt with astonishing speed, Colonel, Theron remarked. Our people learn your methods with a zeal we did not anticipate. Thorne nodded. Necessity is a harsh teacher, High Regent, but they're learning fast. Galaxy's dangerous. We're just making sure they can stand their ground. The Galactic Council, in diplomatic turmoil, issued a formal invitation for Earth to join its ranks. They offered cautious praise and veiled warnings about unconventional measures. Terrans accepted the Compact's alliance, but remained wary of the wider council. Aboard the Ironclad, now undergoing refitting, Lieutenant Anya Sharma reviewed intelligence from new Terran outposts. Scouts detecting increased activity from other aggressive species, Colonel. Testing boundaries, seeing who filled the power vacuum. Thorne, in a simple uniform, nodded. As expected, galaxies wilder without a dominant predator. Everyone's looking for their spot. He walked to a tactical display, showing vast, unexplored regions beyond the former Vorgon Imperium. We're not just about holding ground, Sharma. We're about setting new rules. Captain Valeria Stone, sporting a new bionic arm, joined them. Compact wants to consolidate, Colonel. Build up defenses. Our long-range probes show opportunities in the four-lag hegemony. Their regime is crumbling. Thorne's lips curled into a grim smile. Opportunities, Captain. Vorgon took countless worlds, exploited, enslaved. Those worlds are now vulnerable. Waiting. Are we liberating them? Sharma asked. Thorne turned to his officers, eyes burning with cold ambition. Liberation is a byproduct, Lieutenant. What we're doing is sending a clear, unmistakable declaration to every corner of this galaxy. His voice dropped. Vorgon learned humanity fights to the absolute end. Now, every other species will learn we fight to ensure no one else faces what Xylos Prime faced. We fight for a future where our children and compact children live without fear. If that means we bring the fight to the galaxy's darkest corners, so be it. The Ironclad, fully repaired, prepared for its next mission. Not defensive. A journey into the unknown, a relentless expansion of humanity's new doctrine, unyielding commitment to galactic security, forged in vengeance, delivered with an iron fist. The galaxy had seen humanity's wrath. Now, it was about to witness their unwavering purpose. The vast, uncharted territories beyond the former Vorgon Imperium stretched like an endless cosmic canvas. The ironclad, now truly an exploration vessel, sliced through the void, its advanced sensors sweeping the darkness. The scars of battle still marked its hull, but its mission was now pure discovery. On the bridge, Colonel Kaelen Thorne stood, burdened by the unknown. High Regent Terran, sapphire luminescence steady, meticulously analyzed sensor readings. Energy signatures fluctuating, Colonel Sharma reported, voice hushed. Massive, twisted space constructs. Defy conventional physics. Faint, ancient transmissions impossible to decipher but intelligent. Thorne's eyes held profound wonder. Twisted space? Something truly alien. He turned to Terran. Crystalian archive. Architects of the void? Terran's crystalline form pulsed. Considered myths. To encounter them, beyond academic dream. The ironclad vibrated with collaborative discovery. Crystallian engineers calibrated new sensor arrays. Terran xenolinguists and Zylos algorithms attempted decryption. In the observation lounge, Sergeant Jack's anvil Miller tinkered with an obsidian cube, shimmering with inner light. Still no idea what this thing does, Doc, he muttered to Alara, the Veskian healer. Alara's blue scale shimmered. Energy signature identical to larger construct. Miniature version? Or a key? A key to what? Miller mused. The Galactic Council's frantic hails were shunted to low priority. They spoke of reckless incursions. Thorne paid them no mind. They fear what they don't understand, Colonel, Captain Valerius Stone observed. Exactly, Thorne stated. That's why we're here. Vorgon and Forlag were simple threats. This is something else. Something that could reshape everything. Prepare for close-range analysis. Launch probes. Orders for interaction, Colonel? Sharma asked. Thorne turned to his diverse crew. Approach with caution, with open minds. But shields full. We brought justice. Now we seek its truth. His voice held quiet determination. Whatever this is, whatever it contains, we will learn its secrets. For the Compact, for humanity, and for the vast, unexplored wonders still hidden. The ironclad edged closer, a tiny speck against the incomprehensible structure. The silence of the void deepened. The era of conflict had, for a moment, receded. The era of profound, unsettling discovery had truly begun. The ironclad sent out probes, tiny, silent scouts. On the main view screen, the construct shimmered, impossible angles shifting. It was breathtaking, terrifying, and utterly alien. Colonel Kaelen Thorne felt a primal human awe. Probes stable, Lieutenant Anya Sharma reported. No discernible power source, no defensive emissions. It's just existing. High Regent Terran projected an intricate diagram of the construct's energy flow. Internal structures interact with spacetime. Ambient energy absorption, more akin to a cosmic organism. The bridge hummed. Zylos data analysts clicked frantically. Veskian lore masters sought parallels in ancient texts. In the observation lounge, Sergeant Jack's anvil, Miller's obsidian cube, pulsed faintly. Still no idea what this thing does, Doc, he muttered to Alara. Alara's blue scale shimmered. Energy signature identical to larger construct. Miniature version? Or a key? A key to what? Miller mused. Back on the bridge, probes reached proximity. The construct remained inert. Thorne made a decision. Prepare a small away team. Sharma, Stone, you're with me. Terran, you have command of the ironclad. Terran's luminescence pulsed. Colonel, immense risk. Every step into the unknown is a risk. High Regent, Thorne replied. We came all this way. Not turning back. Not when the biggest mystery is right here. As the shuttle detached, a faint tremor ran through the colossal construct. On the ironclad's bridge, the main view screen flickered. A single symbol, impossibly complex yet recognizable, materialized, the mathematical symbol for infinity. "It's communicating," Theron whispered, "acknowledging us." The shuttle approached the construct, its surface rippling with faint, internal light. It wasn't hostile. It was curious. As Thorne's shuttle docked with a newly formed opening, the infinity symbol pulsed brighter, then split, revealing a question mark. On the shuttle's comms, Thorne's voice, filled with awe and trepidation, came through. "We're in. And it's beyond imagination. This isn't just a structure. It's a library, a repository. It's the universe speaking." The galaxy had learned of humanity's capacity for destruction. It had witnessed their drive for liberation. Now, at the threshold of an ancient, cosmic mystery, it was about to discover the boundless depth of their curiosity. The Vorgon and Forlag wars had merely been a prelude. The true adventure, the real discovery of what lay beyond, had only just begun. The universe was vast, and humanity was finally ready to listen to its oldest secrets.